We are so glad to be back. Hi, ladies.
Hey!
Oh my goodness, it has been forever. In March, we gathered, we shot season five, episode three, I think it was, and then the world went upside down. I haven't seen
Pretty much.
you ladies physically in since March. Wow,
Hmm.
Yeah.
wow, since
Nice.
March,
Time flies.
and yeah, it has been a ride. But to our viewers, we thank you so much for sticking, staying, and we're just gonna chop it up virtually for you a little bit. So welcome back to On Another Note. Ladies, tell me how you're doing, Shaq.
I am right now. I'm in the nice little morning sun, so it's a little bit warm, but I'm doing great. I would say, considering all that we've been through, I'm really feeling positive. No complaints.
You can hear by the chicken in your background.
I know.
They saying good morning.
Go ahead, Adri. How have things been for you?
A ride, to say the least. But without saying the big old C word, I work in public health. So my life has been completely consumed with the virus. So, I mean, I really don't have a personal life. With all the lockdowns and curfew orders and reopening strategies, I have no life. Like, this is the first time I feel a little cute in a while.
Girl, you look good.
Thank you. I mean, considering gaining the quarantine 15 or the quarantine 19
Oh Lord.
on the road, trying to lose the weight that I lost, unfortunately. But it's okay. I'm alive.
Bree, how are you?
I am happy right now. I am much better. I was sick, and then I've been through a lot of changes, but I've learned a lot. So right now I'm just adjusting, and I'm happy for all the lessons that I've learned in the past few months. You'll be
I
surprised
know.
how much I feel I've learned, and I've learned a lot of new things. I've been writing, I've been meditating, and yeah, I'm happy in a way for everything that happened. I think I needed it.
I think that's awesome. I mean, to our viewing public, really, we come from different walks of life. So we've got the doctor
Mhm.
who has been on the front line. We've got the public health administrator, or well, I should call you
Communication specialist, boo.
communication specialist. Thank you. Thank you. So she has been literally on the forefront
All the
to
time.
inform the public. Brianna is
Yeah.
a teacher, so
And a
the
mom.
whole transition, and a mom. It's a whole transition from school life to virtual school, and then I am in the financial services industry. So the transition between three kids, three different grade levels, homeschooling, working. Who Jesus? Should we take a breath here, people?
I know, just exhausting just listening to all of us, right?
Yeah, I
It
mean,
has
with the
been a lot.
virtual school learning, I would say too, that has been like,
Uh,
how do you virtually homeschool a kindergartner? You know?
Remember Adri when I was talking in the background and you had to text me like we can hear you when, when class started? It was chaotic. It was really chaotic.
I mean, it's been real growing pains with that whole portion with the virtual learning. Yuck. But
Yeah.
hey, what can we
I
do?
actually like the virtual learning.
Because you got all the
Because
kids.
well, two of my kids are adjusting really well to it, and I have learned that they learn so differently, having kids on
Mhm.
different age levels. So my daughter seems to be, as a high schooler, this virtual learning I see myself in college. You remember when you were in college, you're kind of like learning on your own, but they
Yes,
give you
independent.
facilitation. So I kind of feel like this is a college prep version for her. My sixth grader is just, that kid is, everybody got that one kid, don't they? that he adjusted very well, but he only adjusted very well because he could sneak between listening and gaming, which I don't know if I should be proud or disappointed. Yeah. And then my last kid, he isn't adjusting very well at all. So the virtual learning experience has not been a positive one for him. And I find that I have to become a teacher. Listen, Bree, just so you know, I don't have the patience, baby. I can't do it.
It's a different type of
quit.
patience. It is.
I quit. I'm like, I don't even want the kid anymore. I'm like,
Oh my
just
goodness.
return the kid. What do we do?
It's almost over.
I mean, I could keep the kid. I just don't want the class. You know what it's like hearing 24 kids saying, "Teacher, can I go to the bathroom? Teacher, can I? The answer is C, teacher." I have about 3 gray hairs from teacher.
My goodness.
That's how I feel, actually. I don't like they calling me teacher too much. But I'm at the high school, so that's different. When you're in primary school, you get that.
Yeah.
Oh, child. It is.
My little brother, who is my brother's son, he is a senior. So I think in terms of what Jill was saying with the independence and learning how to manage college, I find that his attention span actually got a little bit better while he's home because he's not distracted in class with, talking with friends and so on. And he also complained that the work is like 2 or 3 times as much as it would be if he was in class. Of virtual learning, pushing our kids into a different headspace, and it's actually positive, I think, especially for those children who need to go off to college, if they're doing virtual programs elsewhere, because people could stay home and do diplomas, so it's kind of giving them that kind of vibe. So they learn.
Other options.
I definitely agree.
I believe that workload depends on the student. Well, I should say the child. Don't let the work pile up. When you let it pile up, then it's too much. They need to be like, if you're in school, you have a class at 10 o'clock, you need to do that work at 10 o'clock. Once they practice that, it wouldn't seem like so much, but definitely.
Yeah, I think like Dr. Shaq said, the older children, so the high school children, I think this is great preparation for them. It forces them to time manage, it forces them to multitask, and it forces them to have a level of responsibility that, let's be frank, that you don't get when you're in a classroom. So
what? I don't think so. Disagree.
No, I think so, because the level of responsibility that they have, the onus is on them to do the work. The onus
is always on you to do the work.
No,
whether you're in a classroom physically or not.
In a classroom,
I have a sister, 17, and she is in withdrawal of that human interaction. Because you're at home and you're on your phone and you're on your computer anyway all the time. So when you go to school is the opportunity to have that human interaction. If you're having a challenge, you could look over at your friend and your friend could say, "Girl, it's 3 + 3." And then you're like, "Oh, shoot, I didn't even realize I could do it this way." Versus having to type to someone, you don't really get that same warmth versus in a physical classroom. You don't get that time away. You have to mentally make a decision not to scroll on social media pages at the same time that you're in class. Whereas in class, that's what you got to do, because there's no phones allowed in class. And even when I went to college, I didn't like my online classes. It was a no-go for me until the online classes used to say, "Okay, guys, we're going to meet at the library and we're going to go through this coursework together." Because doing it online, some of us, we weren't adapting. And I think my sister is going through the same thing. Like even me now, I want to do more, higher education and looking at certification and certain things. And when I look at the online syllabus, I'm like, yuck, like where can I go for about a year and come back? Because I don't like this.
Well, it's different for everyone. It's really different. I understand, but like I did my master's online and it took discipline, and I already had my daughter. So it was time management. And I used to literally have to work at night when she's asleep. That's the only time I had time for myself. And it worked for me, but some persons, like you said, they just can't do it. I have students who
they need that person interaction,
falling behind. So yeah, some definitely need. There's a pros and cons.
I also think that like with our education system, fantastic by the way, but I think we shy away a lot from electronic use. We have like maybe one computer class, but the reality is we are in 2020 and the world is in a different era from how we teach. So I think that this was a perfect opportunity for us to modify what we do and try to blend it with what's actually happening in the rest of the world. Because when our kids leave, their expectations are different from what we do here to where they go. So this was a blessing in disguise. I really do feel so. And yes, for some students it's challenging, but for a lot, it also teaches them to prioritize, because right now what we do, we spend most of our time scrolling. This Tom hair, we
all have carpal tunnel in another 20 years or so, even less than.
But it teaches them to prioritize. You have the opportunity to go on social media, but you also know you have responsibilities. So I feel like that's another positive. So yes, the social part is out, but it really gives us an opportunity to catch up with where the rest of the world is teaching. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I know it was a head first baptism by fire for the teachers. So people like Brianna are like, oh my God. I know that, but I'm actually happy that it was a baptism by fire, because I think we would have dragged our feet for too long if we had to make learning expanded into an online offline opportunity. And I'm hoping that as we go forward in our new normal, that virtual learning remains a part of how we teach. Some classes should be taught virtually. There should be once a week where there's some type of virtual activity, even if the kids are in a classroom setting, because the world that you and I live in before COVID, most of us had virtual calls in the working world anyways, right? Yeah. We had to adapt and we had to get into that. And there's no way for our children to be ahead of the game unless they're actually in the game from the school level. Absolutely. I want to switch the topic a little bit because all of us are moms. All of us are moms, and that means not only were we teaching, but we were also working from home. So I know working from home took on a whole new meaning to what we thought it meant. I'd love to hear from Dr. Shak, because you're working from home and you actually have to go in. So let me know how that works.
Well, I would say that having to go in was definitely a journey. Some of my clients, they were nervous. We had a system in place where you had to let the police know when they're moving, when they'll be arriving at the clinic, when they're leaving, so that the police would look out for them. So that was a journey. But I think the biggest component for me was being, again, thrown into the fire and virtualizing my practice. That's something I had aspired to do maybe in a year or two, but teledermatology became a very real solution very shortly after the lockdown happened. So my team and I, we were home, we were working on the software, and we actually were seeing people outside of the British Virgin Islands. So this is something that I would have never encountered if COVID-19 didn't happen, to be able to see people from other Caribbean countries, even from the USA. And this is how big BVI, Breviderm, got. And so it taught me a big lesson in terms of accepting like the electronic age. It was a like, again, thrown into the fire, but I think that it's something I'll definitely keep at my practice because people love it, and I love the idea of, like we are talking now, virtually seeing somebody across the world to help them out.
More customers for you.
Yes,
Yes.
so yes. The
Yes.
change and the help is what makes a difference for me. So for somebody in St. Vincent, Jamaica, to say, "Oh, my dermatologist is Dr. So," that's amazing.
That's amazing.
That's awesome. Adri, you know, being a communication specialist in the one department where the entire globe needs to hear from you, how has life been working from home?
I don't think that there's a cutoff time. I mean, I'm sitting here literally scrolling at work. Like I'm scrolling at work. The message, and I was like, what? It's Saturday now. I think for me, the transition with working at home has just been the lack of a cutoff time. I love what I do. The C word has caused so much changes, but I think not even just for me, but that constant, there is no 8 to 4 or 9 to 5.
Yeah.
It's like literally I am reading at 10, I am writing at midnight, I am scheduling, okay, like if I'm having brain fog, well, let me take a nap now and then I'll wake up at 4 a.m. Or I'll get a call at like 1 a.m. to say, be ready for 5 a.m. to do, or, you know, and I'm just like, well, gee, what is life? I need a cutoff. So that it causes burnout. And then you go straight from work into the virtual homeschooling. And that's the only thing where I have literally blocked everything out. Well, at least I tried. Tried to dedicate. So it's homeschooling and work. And Adriana is a dull doll right about now. Like I need a social life.
It's coming.
I need a break.
Oh,
like when the bars open up, this is me.
Oh my goodness.
It's not gonna be a good look if I go, huh?
You can't.
And it's not cute to wear a mask at the bar. How am I gonna get a drink?
I don't know how can you drink? Make a small hole for the straw. I don't know.
But I mean, how is the man gonna see my beautiful face to get the drink?
Oh God, that's awesome. No, seriously, Bree, I mean, we talked a little bit about the schooling already, but working from home, having to do it from the comfort of your home, or the stresses from your home, because you have a toddler, you have a small child. So how really has that been for you?
Before Bree starts, let's just put that out there that Isabella and Milana's in the same class. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Ooh,
So y'all
okay.
all at each other.
Well, it's been a lot more, just like Adriana. I'm planning, the time I'm spending planning is a lot more than if I was going in the classroom, having to prepare these lessons, something that we won't doing all the time here. Dealing with my daughter, I still have to get up early because I need to set up her space so I can have my space. I had to teach her how to handle herself. Don't come to mommy when mommy has a class. Stay and listen to your teacher, which is, by the time I come out to check on her, the toys are everywhere. She is with her head upside down. She is doing everything else. And when I started, we were in the same living room, but like I said earlier, Adriana text me, oh, we can hear you in the background. And I was like,
we had a straight up class, and Isabella was like, who is this? We can hear something.
So I said, okay, that's not working out. So then I started going in the bedroom and trusting her to be out here. But she has adjusted. She really does not like online schooling. She says she needs to see her friends. She wants to play, and I'm always busy because even if I'm not teaching, I'm always on a computer now, marking, preparing. It has been a lot, especially on my eyes. So yeah, it's really not that great for me.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much for us to talk about and pull together, but I think at this point we're gonna just wrap this up. It was great to hear from you ladies. It was amazing to see you guys. You guys look absolutely beautiful.
I miss
so
you
beautiful. So with that, if you're out there and you have been, the whole world has been living in this COVID this COVID pandemic, but it's brought a lot of opportunities. It's brought a lot of insight. We have had to adjust. And I believe you should look at the positive side of things. You heard a lot of positives here. We also realized that the truth is isolation is not for us as humans, that we need others in order to survive. And whether it's virtual or in person, every now and then we need to touch someone, we need to see someone, and we just need a hug. So with that, we'll see you on our next episode. I think we'll do the next one virtually. This wasn't too bad, guys.
It wasn't too bad at all.
No, it was cool. Yeah. But I miss you, Angela. I want to pull on you.
Oh, child. So much to tell y'all, but maybe we'll have a private chat for that.
So guys, we'll see you.
We'll see you on the next episode of On Another Note, the virtual edition.
Bye.
Bye.